In this video we'll just show you how we can machine the sloping faces. So just for clarity, what I will do is I'll just go in and I will delete those items just by right clicking on the dimension, because I no longer need those, and the profile operations, then I can just make it non-active, and therefore the graphics will be that much clearer. Okay, so machining those sloping faces, the best way to do that is to select edges of the shape as a simple 2D sketch, and then just produce the toolpath on those using the 3D command. So if I right click and say that I want to pick edges, as you hover, if I zoom in, you'll see what's happening here. So as you hover the mouse over, it will highlight an edge, so I click there and it shows me the center of the edge. If I hold down the control key, I can see that that edge is going to finish about here. So there's going to be 3 edges to these shapes, so that's the second one and that's the third one. So let go of the control key and right click the mouse and say make to sketch. So I've now got a sketch there, which is that edge of that tapered part. So now I want to do a 2D operation on there, sorry, a pocketing operation. So I'm going to choose, sorry, I'm getting this completely round the wrong way, a profile operation. I want to cut to the right, apply more conventional milling. I can set a roll radius on there if I want to. Offset extra will put on extra allowance, so I can do like a finishing and a semi-finishing cut. I'll set that to 0 for the time being. I'll use quite a big tool on there so you can see it more clearly, because that will be the same tool that was used on the bottom shape. In this case I'm going to make it use the surface. If I didn't use the surface, it would just produce a 2D profile of that shape. And the depth I want to cut to, I didn't measure this off the model, but I could do, but I might need to go back and do that. So that's calculating that path there. Okay. Now what I will do is I'll go back and I'll change the tool size on that to see what we get if we use a smaller tool. Right, okay. Now you can see what's happened there. It's offset shape, but there's some inconsistencies in the model such that it thinks that there are very small deviations in there. So when if you're doing something like that and you get these little jaggy things, then the thing to do is to go into here and use the offset extra command to add a small amount on or off and see if that cures the problem. Right, there we go. So by adding a very small amount onto there, we can see that we've now got the correct toolpath that we want for that shape. Okay, so the reason for that was because the edges of this model, of this profile, are coincident with the edges of the model, and as you may know, in 3D solid modeling there's no such thing as being exact. It's just an approximation of two things coming together. So that's why that can happen, but the way around it, I say, is to either add a very small amount or subtract a very small amount from the shape. So we can do the same thing now. if I just rotate this model around, use the control key and the center mouse to pan, and now I can use the mouse just to highlight this section. Okay, now in this case you notice that that is just a single edge right the way through, all the way along there, whereas on the other side it was 3, so it was probably modelled in the same way, but the results can be slightly different. Okay, so we right click and say make to sketch. Don't use the make a sketch from edge, because that will make a sketch from a single edge. This will make a sketch from a series of edges. Okay, so that's that one there. So if we right click, new profile operation, now it's remembered all the parameters from the previous operation, so I can use all of those and then just click OK. So we get that. Now we can just go around here, select that edge, select that one, and again this one is made up of 3 edges. Make to sketch, sketch 11, new profile operation, leave all the parameters the same, and that makes the profile operation. Spin it round, select the edge, hold down the control key, and again this one has 3 edges. Make to sketch, new profile operation, accept all the defaults, and that's produced that shape. Okay, so when it comes to these profiles, the one thing that you can do obviously is you can add a roll radius to start the tool onto there. The other thing that you can do, which is not part of this dialog box, but if you highlight a profile operation and then come down to the properties box here, you've got more items that allow you to do particular things like use the start and end point, or choose the start and end point, and you can extend before the start and extend past the end of the profile, so you can add extra parts onto the profile so that the tool starts away from the actual start main. So you can use those as you need to. So that's done those 4 operations there. Okay, so in the next video we'll show you the simulation.